So, I used to ride a bit when I was younger, teenager, dirt bikes, enduros, things like that. And over the years, I've wanted to get back on a bike. Had a 84 Kawasaki GPZ 750 for a while. It was a beater. Seemed like I was rebuilding the carb every other day, so the riding I was getting out of that wasn't fun, wasn't relaxing, wasn't enjoyable at all. And having a kid with my first marriage, that definitely made having a bike difficult. Especially considering I married a true diva. And I don't just mean that as some kind of metaphor. I'm talking like legit Grand Ole Opry singer kind of country diva. She lived up to that fully, but yeah, it made it a little bit difficult to, have a lot of me things. And a motorcycle is, a bit much. So I get it. But things shaped up last year where I not only bought this, but I also got several guns. Started taking some classes on that, so I know what I'm doing. First pistol was actually a CZP-10C. It was still fairly new, but they had already gotten a lot of the feedback stuff on it and changed out how some of the striker mechanisms are built so that, you couldn't twist pieces up and make it not want to return to battery, things like that. They had also done the upgrade on it to full night sights, iridium night sights, which I didn't know, didn't expect. I love that gun. I love shooting that gun. But it's become my nighttime gun because of the night sights. Bought my wife, getting her into it as well. I bought her a Taurus G2C 9mm, which is basically the new version of the old PT-111. And that was because after, running up to Academy and putting some guns in her hands, that was the one that felt the most comfortable for her. I actually kind of thought she was going to go with something with a single stack mag, but nope, she went with the double stack. But the cool thing about that one is it's got that little flare up on the front of the mag, so it extends the front of the grip a little bit, and it actually allows me to get my little finger right on the bottom. It's a compact pistol, but it's got like a 3 1/4 inch barrel. I love it. I enjoyed shooting her so much, I went ahead and bought that for myself as well, with a stainless steel slide, and got some fiber optic sights and put those on there, and that's my EDC. If you see me on the bike, 9 times out of 10, that's on me. And for anybody wondering, I do carry one in the chamber, but I enjoy that gun. I can shoot it lethally enough, but for target practice and shit like that, not so much. The fiber optic sights are not zeroed in quite right, and I still haven't exactly figured out where that is. My wife and I actually went to the range last week, and I shot off a lot of that, really just venting off steam rather than trying to, accomplish anything specific, other than, getting more comfortable with that gun, which I'll put up a shot of my target. A lot of those I shot with the G2C, and then get the CZ out for the center bullseye on the actual big paper target, on the 2 foot by 4 foot target, as well as that bottom right target there. Using the CZ on that, just kind of blowing off those last few mags. Love shooting this easy. Anyway, so it worked out last year where I got all of that. It was just something I'd been wanting to do for a long time anyway. Just needed to take some money and go do it, which I've been fortunate enough to do. And it was the same thing with the bike. It came down to money. You know, not only being able to buy it, but being able to maintain it, and take care of it, and do what I need to. So, I got the bike November 1st, and didn't have my endorsement at the time, so of course it had to be shipped out. Got it from Harley-Davidson of Dallas, the Allen location, and felt pretty well taken care of by them. That was the worst part of the experience was the delivery, because the salesman guy named Daryl, I believe, even though I wasn't being pressured, or I wasn't pressuring him, he acted like I was pressuring him about the delivery date. So it was, well, we'll try for tomorrow, but if not the next day, if not that, the next day. And sure enough, that's exactly what ended up happening. Day by day, he let me know, oh no, it'll be tomorrow. You know, so it wasn't that bad. It was like 4 days over the weekend, and he got it out there. But, you know, he should have just been direct with me from the start. That would have made that not even an issue. So, I get that, and first thing I'm doing on it, I mean, I wrote it a little bit, but changed out the handlebars, went from the stock bars up to these are the Harley-Davidson Mini 8s, about $100 on Harley-Davidson's website. Change out the clutch cable, the throttle cables, and the brake line from LA Choppers. Got their Mini 8s kit, which I think covers up to like 12 inch. These are only 8 3/4 inches, but you know, they work great. Got the Arlen Ness Black Fusion grips on here. I've fucked with the mirrors a lot, you know, flipping them, putting them back up top, putting them down the bottom, these little extensions and shit on them. This right here is the configuration that I prefer. It doesn't look as good. It even makes it a little bit difficult to fit my cover over the bike at night. But screw it. It's what I can see behind me with the easiest, so that's what I do. Crash bar came on the bike, by the way. This is a 2015. I've got it used with 1,824 miles on it, November 1st. Over the winter time, I put about between 400 and 500 miles, and up to, well, it's up to 2591 right now, so the rest of that's coming just since spring has started. Yeah, and I picked up a little cheap helmet, just, I mean, I had one. It's one of those, that Torque brand. It was just a skull cap, you know, half helmet, but and it's all right. It'll do the job if need be, you know. If I go down though, I risk a lot of injury that way, facial shit. So I don't actually prefer to use it. What I did was go on to Walmart's website, believe it or not. They had a helmet made by One Storm, brand I've never heard of, and it was a flat black modular helmet, $55. I have since found it on Amazon. The thing I find funny about that is, though it's cheap and all, the reviews on it, perfect 5 stars on both Walmart and Amazon. And it's hundreds of reviews, including some people saying that they went down in it and it did what it was supposed to. So I just think that that's interesting. But because I was trying to get the microphone and shit set up on here, which is what's coming in a minute, I was having an issue with wind and started thinking, okay, well, maybe the gaps where the chin bar comes down and meets the rest of the helmet, and maybe that's just letting in a little bit too much wind. That's probably not helping at worst, you know, or at best it's not helping. At worst, it was causing all kinds of problems. So I had my eye out for a new helmet, and I think I saw John Maxwell setting up his, what did he get, the CL17, I believe, the HJC CL17. And that worked pretty well. I went and checked on it, and I didn't like 2 things on it. One is the head shape. It was like a round oval. And 2, it didn't come with any integrated sun visor, which I definitely prefer. I wear prescription glasses when I ride, when I drive. I've got pretty good vision still, but I also do have an astigmatism, which causes, you know, lights to glare Like if this were at night, that red light, I'd see vertical lines coming off of it that are, red lines now, green lines. And it just makes things a little bit difficult to see. And my vision isn't as good on the, on distance as it used to be. So it just helps me be able to see signs like this do not block drive sign up here on the right. I wouldn't be able to see that nearly as quick if I didn't have the glasses. So yeah, I wear them, and I don't like carrying around extra pair of sunglasses and all that crap. I've got the little covers that clip onto the glasses, and they work great for sunglasses, but again, they're just a little bulkier, a little heavy, so I don't want to ride with them. And that one storm helmet had the integrated sun visor, so I came to like that feature a lot. Sorry, I gotta run up here to Walmart and pick up a script for the wife, which is kind of dumb when you think about it. She actually works in this pharmacy. She just forgot to get the script when she was here yesterday, and she's off today. But she ain't got her pills, so... Baby, would you go get them for me? Sure. I work from home, so, if it's a nice day out, I like to go ride. And I don't have anywhere else I really have to go. So, that works out pretty well. Okay, so, actually the first thing that I did to the bike was get the Vance and Hines slip-ons. Then came the handlebars and the sissy bar. The LED lights for all signals and the headlight. And then the air cleaner. Actually, the air cleaner twice, and I got that with the Power Vision here. New spark plugs, just to kind of start fresh with that. But here's the secret that I guess a lot of people wouldn't tell you. I hadn't been on a bike in years until last February 2018. At that point, I went and took an MSF BRC1, which is the basic rider course. It's what you need for your motorcycle endorsement in Texas. And actually did pretty damn good through most of it too. The way they kind of introduce you to the friction zone and all that, rocking the bike back and forth, and you're just getting used to taking off. It took care of any rust that I had. I was doing just fine around there. Doing everything the way I was supposed to, actually. That's what really surprised me. I did everything perfect for 2 days. Then it gets to the test, and I fail it by the second exercise. The stupid the right-hand turn did fine, from a stop, and then you go into that little slalom where it's just a few feet between the cones. I put a foot down there, and I think I hit a cone too, tapped one. And then you go into the U-turn box, and I touched the line there by an inch or two. Very close to it. And that was enough to fail me. Pissed me the fuck off. I don't fail. I've never failed anything in my life before that or since. So, yeah, it was annoying, to say the least. And yet I still went and got a bike anyway. Because while I may not have the slow speed stuff down totally, I do well enough. I make U-turns on 2-lane residential streets without an issue, Go, 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 go. actually do quite well on that stuff. It's the higher speed stuff that's taking me longer to get used to. You know, I mean, just little things like riding with a 20 mile an hour crosswind to 60 miles an hour on a highway and doing a curve. You know, nothing major, 20, 30 degrees. But, you know, being able to keep it right. And it was a little iffy at first, but I mean, it's going to be the first time. I'm not even sure I did that whenever I rode before. I was never going that fast. But, you know, I've gotten used to it as I go. Change out the helmet. That's where I was before. Sorry, I'm jumping around here. I changed out the helmet. Still have the ice storm. It'll be a backup helmet or something my wife will wear when we go to but I'm wearing the new HJC I-70 right now. And the reason is I wanted the full face, so there's no lines on the front of it from where the chin bar, you know, meets, where the helmet is separated, you know. And it is pin lock ready. I mean, I've been doing most of my riding, you know, before now, since November 1st of 2018 up until now, which is mid-April 2019. And I mean, this is a fairly warm day. It's in the 60s, so it's kind of a chilly 60 though. I've had 1-2 days in the 80s last week or week before. And, you know, this thing's fogging on me right now. I'm doing 40 miles an hour and it's trying to fog on me. So having a pin lock is helpful. I don't actually have the pin lock now. There's no point in spending the 30 or 40 bucks on that just yet. But I like the helmet. It's a little bit snug. Some pressure points in it, which they're in the cheek pad, so it'll go away. And what I really like about it is nothing to do with it. I've got this SJ Cam, the SJ8 Pro series, which is a 4K cam with electronic image stabilization, which works great. I don't use 4K, good thing, because I found out the other day it doesn't actually work. It stops recording at random intervals in there. I don't know. It might be the memory card. It's just already wearing out. I use the 2.7K, and these videos come out just fine. It has 2 microphones on the body of the camera, one side-facing by the charging port and one front-facing, which obviously suck if you're on a motorcycle. I mean, if you put it in the waterproof case, okay, fine, but then you're not really picking up any audio. You're certainly not going to pick up, you know, anybody talking. So I got their external microphone, which SJ Cam only uses one, theirs. They have one microphone, and it's the only microphone that their cameras will accept. There is a thing of a old Asian guy on YouTube. He's got several videos where he's making his own USB things and making them to spec for SJ Cam. It's something about how they route the terminals, the circuitry on there. Anyway, he can make it so that any microphone can work. I'm not great with, you know, soldering little micro circuitry and all that crap, so screw it. The microphone picks up really well. If I was doing like interviews in indoor settings, holy crap, I bet the audio on that is freaking awesome. But just sticking the lapel microphone inside the helmet, routing it in, I could not on either helmet find a place to do it where, one, it wasn't being drowned out by wind, or in the alternative, when I was able to get some improvement on that, what was happening was that the combination of the wind and the exhaust and the engine and any talking, it was overwhelming the microphone to where it would start clipping everything. It was just picking up too much volume in every range, and it was just starting to clip everything. So, I mean, I had a couple of rides that were completely useless for anything but visual. The audio was, I mean, cutting in and out, and what you could hear was wind with a slight sound of exhaust behind it. Such a pain in the ass. And I mean, I tried all sorts of things. I tried pulling the microphone out of the housing and stuffing like double-sided tape in different spots and wrapping the housing up and all that. Nothing helped. I mean, it sucks. And the housing's a little tube like that, and the microphone sits about in the middle, and it's got a little screen on the end that screws on. Then it's got a couple of vent holes behind the microphone towards the cord end of the housing. And again, it's just allows sound to come in. It's an omnidirectional mic, so it allows sound to come in a lot of different ways. Wow, that's the most cars I've ever seen there. So I played with a lot of different things with that. I've got the foam cover that came with it originally. I've got a little package of dead cat covers. I've played with one or the other, with both. I mean, all different kinds of combinations. It all sucked. So finally the other day with this new helmet, I pulled the mic back out of the housing and slid the housing back on the cord a little bit and stuck the bare mic inside the right cheek pad, about an inch tucked in there. And suddenly the wind noise was gone when the visor's closed. My audio picks up great. It picks up the bike a little bit. It picks up my voice good. I mean, it's just all around awesome. And I very much enjoy it. So now I can do what I've been wanting to do, which is use the YouTube channel and the Patreon deal, Instagram, although I've been doing Instagram a little bit. Instagram just isn't my thing, so remembering to do it is as difficult as anything else. Now I can actually start recording videos where I'm talking. We've got some commentary going. The plan is for this to be the first of those. Still not sure what I'm going to do for editing and all that, what my style will be. It'll probably, jump around. Y'all don't know, I'm a smoker, so, I mean, we're talking pack and a half a day smoker, and that's about the most. I don't smoke a brand y'all have ever heard of. Well, 99.9% of you will definitely never have heard of it, because I don't buy a pre-made cigarette. I buy my own organic tobacco, I shred it, I buy my own tubes with the filter already on there, and I make my own cigarettes. Man, it is windy. But yeah, I make my own cigarettes, and do that for my wife. Even got my mother into it. I know my sister-in-law and her husband do it. I mean, it's so much better. They don't stink nearly as bad either. And, I got to a point where I would wheeze when I went to bed. Get, pretty quiet in there, and I'm just breathing, trying to go to sleep. And I'd hear this little squeaking because I'm wheezing, which isn't fun. And then we switched tobaccos, went from, buying Pall Mall Reds, I think it was, occasionally Marlboro. And that's gone away. It's pretty rare that I wheeze now, which is kind of nice. But I do still clear my throat a lot, and that's just a smoker thing, so I'll probably be skipping around a little bit on the editing just to get past the parts where I clear my throat, where I do it almost subconsciously, without really even thinking about it. I clear my throat while I'm talking, and sometimes when I can, like a moment ago, I'll actually pause and then give a good throat clear, basically a cough, and the video will jump a little bit. That's where I'm at now. That microphone thing was a pain in the ass, and it was really screwing with me too, because, I'd go out pretty much every day. I mean, as long as it was dry, I'd go out and ride. And testing something, you know, some new position or way I've set up the microphone, something I've jammed in there, we'll try to cover it with. And whenever it comes out badly, you can hear really shitty audio of me talking, but nothing you can actually make out. I mean, it was nothing usable. And I mean, I've done podcasts and stuff, and you know, I'm pretty good with cleaning up audio. Not great by any means, but decent. And there was just nothing you could do with it. So it left me with nothing to post. When I first created all the channels and stuff, I didn't have the internal microphone, so basically I had my old camera mounted in its waterproof case on my helmet, and I just post videos of me riding around, you know, with the sometimes a little bit of on-screen, you know, text overlay, or you know, just more detail down in the comments or the description or something. But once I had the audio that I was trying to use and that I was screwing up by injecting my voice into it, even though it wasn't picking it up worth a damn, it was still enough. It made the footage completely flawed, and I just can't do that. I can't use that. You know, I mean, there was some thought to do a lot of heavy editing and, you know, lay a soundtrack on it, but I mean, that's not, I probably will do that at some point. Maybe it was just out of sheer frustration that I just didn't want to do that. It was just too much work to cover up the thing that wasn't working, you know. So it's nice to be able to get this back in here and to know that I'm being recorded and that it's legible while I'm riding, you know. I mean, it still leaves the deal about coming up with content, what I'm going to talk about. This one's kind of easy because it's a general introductory video. Hi, I'm TXR Moto, and I'm from Greenville, Texas, this beautiful, if not slightly dilapidated city I'm riding around in. I'm married, 35 years old, love tattoos, love guns, love motorcycles. I'm also a web programmer, publisher. I am a huge Dallas Cowboys fan and actually make my living from that fandom. This bike right here, 100% paid for by being a Dallas Cowboys fan. Which is also where some of the podcasts and stuff come in. I run the biggest independent Cowboys news blog online. I don't want to give a whole lot of other information. And the reason is, same reason I don't use my actual name. I go with TXR Moto, which is an abbreviation for two things, Texas and Raven. It's my baby, Raven. I'm not big into naming stuff, but my wife is, and there's only some forces you can fight for so long. So I named it. I've actually got decals coming to put on the bike. And the main reason that I'm trying to keep some anonymity here is because I'm just kind of curious if this is going to pick up my audio at all with all the noise of the exhaust echoing in here. Oh, hello. So the reason I want to stay kind of anonymous here is because I have certain opinions about a lot of different things. And for anybody who's watching actual news lately, not mainstream media, Not any of the big networks, not even Fox, not anymore. You know what I mean by real media. And that is to say people who are actually reporting anything. But if you watch this stuff, you start catching little bits of information, like a lady's car in Chicago who, in its third vandalism, was completely torched because she had a cutout of Donald Trump in the backseat of her car. Because apparently it's okay to start destroying property and risking other property and risking lives and the safety of everybody around you just because you don't like what somebody thinks. This is complete bullshit and entirely unacceptable. We have glorified acting like a child, and I don't like it. And I do not plan to hide my feelings about that. I don't plan to censor myself one way or another. I'm going to tell you right now, fuck censorship, and I'm not bleeping that out. It's not what I want to do. It's not who I want to be. PC culture is not a good thing, so I don't participate in it. But because there are other things in my life where I can't afford to have that kind of controversy affect it, I can't tell you my real name. Matter of fact, you may even notice that I'm altering my voice a little bit through software. And the reason for that, real simple. Hide who I am. Now, I'll meet anybody face to face and we can hash it out and I'll tell them everything about me. I don't care. But I'm not going to put it out there for everybody to see. That is just not smart for me and my family, so I'm not going to do it. You know, I mean, the people who already know me, they can watch one of these videos and figure it out. My voice is fairly distinctive. How I talk is fairly distinctive. When I'm riding without long sleeves on, the tattoo on my arm, that's extremely distinctive. I designed it myself and handed it to the tattoo artist who printed the stencil from my design without alteration, so, you know, it's a one of a kind. Whew. That was a little drop. So, you know, and who I am, it doesn't need to be a big mystery. It's not anything like that. I'm just kind of trying to watch it. It's the same reason that I don't put any Trump stickers or libertarian stuff on our cars. Because people can't handle seeing that shit and think it's okay to touch another person's vehicle, let alone to do it harm. I was raised old school. You don't touch another man's bike, you don't touch another man's car. And it don't have to be a man, it can be a woman. If it ain't yours, you don't fucking touch it. That's the way I was raised. And as much as anything, that's all about having to work for everything that I have ever had. And I've had to work my ass off for it. Nothing was handed to me. I was raised poor by a single mother with no father around. I was working full-time at 12. I was paying taxes at 14, which, if you know the law, I wasn't actually paying taxes. They were taking them, and they gave them back to me at the end of the year. Hello, First Ibanez guitar. You know, so that's what this is. It's an introduction to me. It's what I'm doing here. And really, I don't know. I like riding. I like watching footage of people riding. And there's that guy, what is he? He's in New Zealand, Dave Cahill, or Kaywood. Kaywood, I think it is, with a C. He's in New Zealand. He's got an 883. He's got a camera mounted somewhere right over here. And that's all his videos are. He goes out and just does group rides with others on twisty roads, and it looks like fun as hell. It's what I watched first thing this morning, actually. He had posted another one, and it was longer than his usual ones. It was like 14 minutes instead of 5 or 6. And I just, watched it. It's not necessarily about seeing it all the way. It's largely about hearing it, too. And it was nice. I'm real good with that. That was one of the reasons why I started liking Blockhead so much, just because on his iron he had the, I think he had the Vance and Hines short shots on there. But whatever it was, his audio picked up his exhaust really well. And he had really cleaned up audio anyway, so you could hear it really good. So sometimes I just watch that, which is kind of funny because I remember he did Blockhead did it was just like a nighttime video. I think it was right after he got the Wizamic headlight, the LED headlight off of Amazon. So he was doing a ride at night to check it out, and then he was like, okay, we're just going to do, kind of a free ride here. No talking, just riding. But then he puts music over it. It's like, dude, it's just one of those things where I'd much rather listen to the exhaust. He could have just shut up and rode. No music over it, especially not some of the... I mean, he's using the royalty-free music, I guess. I don't know. I've never heard it before. But that's a whole other topic that I will get into eventually. Feel a little uncomfortable doing anything that even resembles talking shit, and I'm not happy with Blockhead right now. I imagine I'm not alone in that. But can't please everybody. And that means you also can't piss off everybody, so who knows. But, yeah, I'll get into that. I just thought that maybe, given my background and writing, both with journalism and with just free-form writing. I do a lot of writing stuff. I have for almost 20 years now. Published in various places. Nothing you'd know. I figured, let me give this a shot. Let me see. I want a good camera anyway, and I needed to be able to work out the microphone issue so that whenever I do start riding two up with my wife and we've got our communicator on, I know where to put the microphone. At least have some idea where to put the microphone. But, I don't think I'm ready to end this ride just yet. So, we'll come up here and take a left. But, that's kind of how it started, but my intention all along was to try to video vlog. To vlog, Motovlog. We'll have to see if it works out. Maybe it won't. I don't really know. My big thing is anybody going to give a shit about what I got to say? Who knows? We'll find out. I'm really doing this for me. I've got the Patreon and the YouTube channel and shit just because it's kind of what you're supposed to do. I mean, yeah, I guess if somebody subscribes to Patreon, becomes a patron, then that would be monetizing. But with YouTube, the way they're set up, there is no monetizing until you have 4,000 hours watched and 1,000 subscriptions. So I'm not doing this to make any money. But if I do, how awesome would that be? Yeah, it still kind of irks me to ride this high up in the RPMs. I mean, I've gotten kind of used to it. 3,200, 3,300 RPMs. If I'm in fifth gear, I'm just doing 70 miles an hour, which that highway there, Interstate 30, 75 miles an hour. So, you know, it's not like it can be avoided. It's my first Harley. I'm not used to their low gearing. But trying to get used to it a little bit. Stretch old girl's legs out a bit. Trying to get used to a lot of things with this bike. I still don't know so much. You know, like that right there. I try to use others, the examples set by others, to learn new things or try things differently. You know, and I found one guy. I don't remember what his name is on YouTube. He does quite a few of these. California somewhere, I believe. Yeah, he's on an Iron 883. But I mean, that dude routinely takes off, and I mean, like from a dead stop, he doesn't come into first gear until he is almost 50 miles an hour, and in second gear he rides up to, I want to say 60, 70, closer to 80. I mean, he really winds that engine up. And you know, then you got some other guys, again, another one, I don't remember who it is, but just saw it a couple of days ago and thought, okay, well, I'll try it that way. And that's really just kind of, you know, following the 10s going up, even under hard acceleration, instead of winding it out, keeping it down a little lower. You know, so you're kind of pushing it like that a little bit. I think I am a little more comfortable with that. I don't feel like that's fucking with the bike quite as much, and I appreciate the lack of fuckery there. Yeah, I get used to it now, guys. Fuck is my favorite word. In any expression or whatever, I don't really care. See, accelerating like that feels more natural to me than winding out the gears. I don't know, we'll see. I guess it's a good habit to get into, since I think I am leaning to, I mean, if I'm going to keep this bike for more than a year, I am definitely going to do the 1275 kit on it, the Hammer Performance. And I guess that would help, because it's the low-end torque that really isn't, that's really impacted, that's boosted the most there, which is already a torquey bike anyway at the low end, so that's what led me to try to take off that way. See, it's just little shit like this that new riders have to deal with, and, you know, some of us are at a bigger disadvantage than others because we don't know anybody who rides. I know two guys who rides. One of them traded in his bike for a Jeep decades ago. Can't hardly get a hold of him. The other one died a year ago and really hadn't ridden that much anyway, so that's the thing about a bike, about the bike culture. I mean, I guess it's easy enough to just say, oh, hey, there's a bike night there. Let me go show up and introduce myself to new people. Some of us aren't okay with that. I mean, I'm okay. I guess I'm okay. If I happen to be there anyway, I would be fantastic. Like, utterly fucking fantastic. But going there for the sole purpose of introducing myself to a bunch of strangers who probably are going to be older than me, drive bigger bikes than me, have been doing it longer than me, I won't lie, it's a little intimidating. You know, especially if anybody asks about the MSF course. Well, I failed that because, you know, I'm a fucking idiot. No joke, I've never failed anything. I mean, like even in school, which I didn't finish, so I guess technically that's a failure, but even in school, I didn't do homework. Are you kidding me? I had girls and skates and bikes and motorcycles and shit to worry about. I wasn't fucking with school. You know, the only time that stuff went away is when I had to worry about work. And by work, I'll be mowing lawns 12 hours a day during Texas heat. And at a time when Texas summers were having months consecutive triple-digit days. Yeah, that shit gets hot. So I passed all my tests just by testing well. I test very well. I got what I think is what is repeatedly demonstrated to me as above average common sense. And I can figure shit out real easy. So it helps. It didn't help so much on that test. Can't believe I failed. Dude told me that, and I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He said, "No." It was like you didn't expect that response. I should have stuck around, but no, I didn't. So I'm gonna go do it again, but I'm just trying to get my bike legs under me again. You know, there's things that take getting used to. I've also put on a lot of weight since I last rode a bike of any kind, bicycle or motorcycle. You know, it's all stuff that seems to kind of factor into it for me. What the fuck are you doing way back there? Yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go this way or not because damn, it's bumpy right there. Because it's really quite windy out, a little chilly, but that's not too bad. I'm riding more towards the middle because this shit is bumpy as hell and all that shiny stuff there. And we just had some pretty massive rains yesterday. Flooding rains. So, middle should be pretty well washed away. Anyway. I do want to go take it again. I'm going to go through Harley because they use slightly bigger bikes and might be something I'm a little more comfortable with. You know, but there was other things. Like, with the other test, they had me on a Yamaha V-Star 250, I think it was. And yeah, it was 20 years old. Which is still in pretty decent shape, but the thing that was really fucked up about it was that the rear brake pedal was so high that I had to physically come up and get on it. Which, when you're trying to do low-speed balance maneuvers, picking your leg up like that, it isn't the most secure feeling in the world. And I already didn't have the confidence I needed for it anyway. So, that common little trick of riding the rear brake to kind of counteract some of the throttle you may be errantly giving too much of, I couldn't use it. You know, like I said, I did good throughout the day. For some reason, once the test started, I guess we just took too long of a break before we started. It just, I don't know. I felt totally uncomfortable, felt like I was going to drop the damn bike, which I didn't do. I didn't drop the bike one time. But it is what it is. I'll go to Harley and I'll do that. I'll do it after I've been riding this for a while. I'm up to, where am I at right now? Up to almost 800 miles on it so far. Shit, I gotta get gas soon. Up to almost 800 miles on it so far, so that's something. But, there's some slow speed stuff in there mixed in. There's more I need to do. I bought cones, crap like that, so I can practice more. It's just been so windy. it's been so windy, and it's kind of difficult in a small town to find a good parking lot. I mean, there are a lot of good parking lots, but they'd be good for doing shit in a car, but if you're trying to do slow speed maneuvers, it needs to be fairly level. Like this. It's not the most level, but it's by far the most level I found, especially with this much space. So on the weekend, it's something I can do. Nope. But, you know, I'm gonna have to remember this place. I need to look this place up anyway. They usually have like a real decked out Lamborghini parked out front, and I don't know what they do. IFI Innovation First Incorporated, I guess. I want to check out what they do though. But yeah, this is my beginner riding series, and I'm not gonna give out tips on how to ride because there's other people already doing it. What I'm gonna do is share my experience, and those who can learn from it will. Those who can laugh at it will. Those who can just completely ignore it, they'll do that too. That's fine, I don't care. I'm not doing this to try to get an audience. Although, that sounds kind of dumb, considering audience is really the main goal here, right? That's not my motivation behind it. It's a factor I have to consider, but it's not my motivation. And I don't care. People can laugh. There are 3 people in this world I care what they think. My wife, my daughter, and my wife's daughter. That's it. If you ain't in that group, laugh, cry, go piss yourself. I don't care. Doesn't have anything to do with me. You know, so that was another thing that took me a little while, was to get used to going 60 miles an hour. A little windy through here right now. But when they delivered the bike, it had 32 PSI front and rear. And these are still the stock Dunlop 401s that came on the bike in 2015. So they're a little old. They're taken care of well. Less than 2,000 miles on it, so that helps. But they delivered it with 32 PSI front and rear, and just doing this speed right here, 55, this thing was bouncing all over the place. It felt like absolute garbage. Like literally, it felt like I was riding on top of the piles of the dump. So what I did was went up the tire pressure to 38 PSI per tire, and voila, feels great now. I haven't gone any faster than 75. I don't really have a need to either. I may not be quite old enough to have calmed my temper when riding or driving. I have road rage, but I don't need that. Oh, fuck, that bump hurt. I don't need that speed and that thrill and the danger of it all. You know, maybe when I was younger, but not now. So, I mean, this is fun. I actually prefer if we had more 45, 50 mile an hour roads around here. It would be helpful. Like where I grew up was Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys and the Texas Rangers. And there's some great roads around there. You know, and you still got to deal with BMW traffic. Idiots not paying attention to what they're doing. But it was, what is this? it has some great roads that aren't like this. Like right now, even doing 50, you can see my sleeves, they're pulled up and blowing around. And for most of the last couple of minutes here doing 60, I couldn't hear myself talk, so, hoping I wasn't slurring or coming out too country. But, some slower stuff without lights every 100 feet, that would be nice. Which you don't get in Greenville. It's a town of 25,000 people. I mean, yeah, as far as small towns go, it's pretty damn big. But it ain't big enough to give me the kind of riding that I would really prefer. But at the same time, it doesn't have all the stupid people that I have to, worry about killing me. Sorry, I gotta stand up. This seat sucks. Oh, it'll be nice when I have my little para next week. Great, my ass is numb, so I sat back in the wrong spot, I think. But I can't really tell because my ass is numb. Fuck it. I'm not falling off, that's all that matters. Anyway, these roads kind of work. There's little challenges around here. The good thing out here is it's not like I've hardly ridden on Interstate 30 at all. Because I don't need to, if I need to go anywhere on 30, usually my wife's with me, and I'm not set up here for 2 up yet, so we're taking our car. Any other time, it's country highways like this and in-town driving like I was doing earlier. That's all I need. That takes care of everything. And that's fine with me. It actually helps. Because like right now, I've got wind pushing pretty hard from the left. And it's kind of blowing me around a little. It's not actually bad on that part, but I feel it on my head a lot. The bike stand. But getting used to riding sideways, straight line leaned over because the wind is fighting you, that's a lot less scary when you don't have lanes beside you. Same thing for dealing with the 60-mile-an-hour curves. It's a lot less scary when there's no lanes beside you. And whether the fear matters or not is debatable, but to me, it's the lack of confidence that matters most. Because a confident person can be scared of something and still get through it perfectly. Someone who's not confident, whether by personality or just because of whatever specific activity it is, even the tiniest bit of fear is going to fuck with them. They can cause shakes and all kinds of crap, and you kind of need some precision on a motorcycle. Not a ridiculous amount, but some. And it's helpful. So living in the country, I'm actually thankful for that. But that's what this is all going to be. It's just going to be me running my mouth while running my bike. That's it. Sometimes I'll touch on political crap. Lord knows there's enough of that. I meant to say this earlier. I do actually support President Trump. I saw the lineup ahead of the 2016 elections, and he was hands down the one person that I felt should win that election. Not that he was the lesser of two evils. There was some of that sentiment there too, but that's not what my primary motivation was for it. It was his background in business. And after 8 years of watching Barack Obama and his cronies screw this country's economy up, I had enough. I flat out had enough. We needed something to turn it around because There's only so much of that it can take before it becomes unrecoverable. And Trump was the guy to fix that. And if you've looked at the numbers and pulled your head out of your ass for a second, him and his administration, because no, he's not all powerful, he doesn't do all this shit by himself. Him and his administration have been a force for positive change. More people are working who want to work. Fewer people are living on the government dole. But there are non-financial aspects of things that are worse now, which are because of Trump, but not by Trump. Now, I think we could go a lot further on the economic shit, because I am a libertarian, so this massive government is incredibly too big. It needs to be trimmed down. Government has their hands in way too many pots trying to do what the private sector could do 10 times better for half the cost. And not to mention, leaving it in the private sector means that more Americans actually profit from whatever's being done. The government has no money. We have money. We have money that the government manages for us, and they do a piss poor job. So, yeah, I do support President Trump. I agree with a lot of things that he does. I feel like he is there to do a job rather than play politics. He's never held political office before, unlike most of these other people. I mean, he got, Bernie Sanders, how long has he been in government office? He's a career politician, and we're going to elect this putz to be president? Hell no. I'd rather stick a hot poker in my eye. My right eye, actually. I thought about it. My right eye is what's keeping me from 20/20 vision. So I might as well get rid of the weak link, right? But, we'll see what comes. I still don't know yet. Some of what I gotta worry about is confining my talks. This video is already way too fucking long. I'm probably gonna cut out quite a bit. Or I may just put it up there and see if anybody gives a shit to watch it. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you what you like. I'm gonna tell me what I like. So, I'm gonna head back to the hizzy. And enjoy this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and tomorrow I'm going to enjoy some more. Love all these cars. Alright, I don't have an official sign-off just yet, so, and I can't bring myself to even come close to encroaching on something I've seen anybody else do. Get off my ass, dude. So, the deuces is out. Thanks, blockhead. So for now, just ride safe, have a good time, enjoy what you got.